So this is just a small presentation about how we got to supporting the supporter, a resiliency project. So first, we had emerging community needs. So in 2013, the Committee for Accessible AIDS Treatment identified emerging needs of PHAs in service provision roles. And some of these needs are confidentiality, altered self-peer expectation of the needs, stigma of accessing services as providers, and reduced access to mental health and peer support. And we identify these needs through membership meeting, which will be like steering committee retreats, staff retreats, program experiences. We do have the Ethno-Racial Treatment Support Network, and we do needs assessments, and these needs came from the participants, and as well as the CAT steering planning retreat, the steering committee planning retreat. Then we gather evidence, and then we're talking action. So we work together with the AIDS Bereavement Program Resiliency of Ontario, part of my misspelling, ABRPO, and then we're working together to respond to these needs and challenges. And then we modify what they did as a facilitator training, and then we did the PHA worker training. And at the same time, we started in co-sponsoring with REACH, when PHA becomes service providers. So PHA-SP, which is when PHA becomes service providers, is to build support mechanism to enhance the well-being of people living with HIV and they are engaged in provision roles. And when we did the PHA worker training, which was an 8-day training over a few months, we looked at facilitator skills and group dynamics, self-awareness. We were meeting the challenges, and then we also talk about the emotional dimension and how emotions play an important role when we're providing services to other people that are living with HIV, as well as peer learning, debriefing, and meeting the challenges of being a peer facilitator. We also built a national coalition. So in March of 2014, the Committee for Accessible AIDS Treatment and CIHR Center for Reach Intervention Working Group, we co-sponsor a national think tank to capture the ideas on practices that promote the resilience of persons living with HIV as workers. I remember it was a very special night because before we had this think tank, we actually had a dinner for people that are living with HIV. When we all get together as persons that are living with HIV, not as ADDs or support workers, we were just concerned people, and we made our needs heard, and that's what dictated the discussion the next day at the national think tank. And what we learned from the national think tank, as you can see there, is proven innovation. And on top of what we had there, that we needed to develop a wise practice framework, we wanted to self-identify presence and well-being, interpersonal relationships, as well as job task-specific development, building and maintaining a community connection, and to promote individual health. As well, we have the GPA and MIPA into measurable practice, which is understanding the interrelations of different roles and identity of PHA service providers and how they will impact the meaningful engagement. As well, the lesson then we have training, and then mastering the transition from a service provider. And then we also wanted to address issues on confidentiality, access to support service, manage changing peer expectations, boundary challenge, as well as vicarious trauma and triggers. And then when we wanted to translate knowledge to an intervention research. So from all of our needs assessment that we did in the PHA worker training, as well as when PHA becomes service providers in our program, we put everything together, and then we did a rigorous evaluation process. And then from that, we tailor, and then it came the Supporting the Supporters and Resilience Promotion Project, which is called STS. I am the happy project coordinator, research coordinator. So this intervention consists of 4 full days of experiential learning that promotes resilience and building these skills. And what is great about this program is we took what everybody said the gaps were from all of our programs and our past interventions and research, and we put it together to create a cohesive 4-day training that is not as intensive as the 9-day training that we did with the PHA worker training. So it will be more accessible. We wanted to translate evidence from existing literature that we had, and that's how we developed this intervention. Currently, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the research. So for Supporter to Supporter, we recruited 39 participants, which were divided into two cohorts. One cohort was our control group, which went through a 2-hour intervention and educational session, and as well a 3-month follow-up focus group. And then we have 20 participants in the intervention arm, which went through the 4 full-day training as well as post-intervention focus group. Right now, we just finished the post-intervention focus group, and we are doing data analysis. And moving forward, so meaningful engagement of affected communities and concerned stakeholders were empirical in the to create the intervention, and so they could be community relevant. And it also enabled us to tap into frontline knowledge and lived experience of people that are living with HIV. And hopefully in the future, we want to implement this program into Legacy, which is the program that I coordinate, which is the mentorship program for the Committee for Accessible AIDS Treatment. And I like the arrow because it's like we started with the PHA service providers and the PHA worker training, and then we had the national think tank, and that's how in contribution we came to have the Supporting the Supporter research. And that's it for me.